Welcome back to another Blacktastic episode of the People Before Politics show, Sunday Rundown, powered by Black Westchester Magazine. I'm your host, Damon K. Jones, joined by my brother, A.J. Woodson, and bringing that fresh perspective, Larnaz Kinsey. Every Sunday, we pull back the curtain on the issues shaping our families, our cities, and our future, from health and safety to policy and power. It's because our mission is simple. Put the people first, not the politics. It's going to be Blacktastic. Are you ready to put your brand in front of the people who matter? Black Westchester Magazine is your platform. With over 90,000 monthly website readers and more than 250,000 YouTube viewers every month, we give your business unmatched exposure. From email blasts straight to our subscribers, to video commercials, website promotions, and targeted campaigns, we've got the tools to help you connect, engage, and grow. Whether you're a local business, a national brand, a rising entrepreneur, or just promoting an upcoming event, Black Westchester is where culture, community, and commerce meet. Contact us today or scan the QR code and start building with us. Don't just advertise, be part of the movement, be part of Black Westchester, be Blacktastic. Black America first. Yeah, Black America first. Got a sweet tooth? Come to Cupcake Cutie Boutique in Mount Vernon, where every day is a reason to celebrate. Fresh homemade cupcakes baked with love. Stop by 8 South 6th Avenue and taste the cuteness today. Black Westchester's New Spring 2026 e-paper is now available, featuring the life and legacy of Bob Law, breaking news, and stories that matter to our community. Read it now at blackwestchester.com.
Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings. What is happening? What's going on? How's everybody doing?
What's up? What's up? What's up? It's been a crazy weekend.
Yeah, man.
So
yeah.
I wrote this thing on my Substack about being entered into the congressional record. So
congratulations, bro. That's big.
And the same thing goes for Cupcake Cutie. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Anytime a congressman or a senator does an acknowledgement like that from the floor, it gets entered into the congressional record forever. So, like when he acknowledged all the president, George Latimer, congressman, acknowledged all the presidents and vice presidents of the NAACP branches in the 16th district, which is Lower Westchester and the Bronx. And he did that last year in June. But we had the Mount Vernon NAACP, we had a community heroes luncheon where one of the people that I wanted to honor was Abishai, Brother Abishai. He was so honored. You know what I'm saying? Came up, he had his drums playing and everything. He did his thing. But I wanted to honor him because that's one of the people I don't see get honored, and he's done so much for so many. And so George Latimer finally came and brought the actual record to the actual thing. This is what it looks like. Comes in the thing like your little graduation, like your thing. And it's the official record that, and is what he read out. And I'm like, yo, so he says, he hands us that, we do that, I'm emceeing the event. And he says, for now, forever, your name will be in the congressional record. So anytime somebody Googles your name and congressional record, it will come up. So I'm the MC is the beginning of the thing. I got people to bring on honorees and stuff. It went over my head. Came home, crashed. I woke up later and read it, and I was like, oh, shoot. And then I told one of my boys what Latimer said, and he Googled it and found it right there on the record and screenshotted it for me. I said, so that's true. So the same thing for Cupcake Cutie, and that's why I wanted to congratulate them, what he did for them. Cupcake Cutie is forever in the congressional record, forever and ever and ever. Their name will forever be there. If you Google Cupcake Cutie and congressional record, it'll automatically come up. So I just want to say shout out to the Cupcake Cutie, shout out to all the presidents and vice presidents of the of the NAACP in branches in the 16th congressional district. I'm like, I've done a lot of things. We've done a lot of things collectively, but none of those things got me mentioned in the congressional record. It was like my work with the NAACP is what got me forever mentioned in the congressional record. So I'm honored, that my name will forever be there.
Yeah, man, that's big, and I was trying to explain it to my wife. She's not into none of that stuff. So, like she was like, well, congressional, I'm like, you know what? Just enjoy the video.
I didn't understand it either. Like I posted pictures of me holding it up, and all these people was like, yo, do you know how huge that is?
Exactly.
I'm like, no, because I really didn't. And I had to look it up. Like that's supposedly a really, really big thing. They have your name recorded in the congressional record. So
yeah, I like I said, tried to explain it, and it went in one ear, out the other. So at the end of the day, I said, you know what? Let me just download it, the video,
and share it.
and the long-term reasons behind that, I just say, man,
So I haven't looked it up though, Damon, but when Mondear Jones uplifted Black Westchester, that should also be in the congressional record.
Yeah, because that was at a hearing.
Yeah, but from the floor, anything they do from the floor like that.
No, he did it in a hearing. It's still on record because it was about media.
Yeah, it was about media and social media and all that. Yeah.
It was a congressional hearing. That's still in the record because it was so what he said about Black Westchester is in the hearing record, but still Congress, right?
Right. So Black Westchester is in the congressional record. Cupcake Cutie is in the congressional record, and AJ Woodson individually is in the congressional record now. Forever and ever, ever and ever. We will be here forever. Let KRS say.
So we got our brother, man, our resident defense lawyer. He's for everybody that's watching, he's a friend of the show. And when he calls me to come on the show, I know it's something's going on. But we got a friend, I want to get his opinion on a few things and trying to get this video together. But welcome, Johnathan Newton.
How you doing, Damon?
I'm chilling,
AJ. What's going on? You know that song says when these three are in the house, oh my God, danger.
But brothers and sisters, y'all know I've been hard. I've been very, very hard on the DSA. I really think, I don't want Black people to get caught up in something that's not for us, but they're going to use our pain. And because Black people are, whether we like it or not, we do the most when it comes to politics, and then we're dealing with the Democratic Party, vote blue no matter who, and a lot of other stuff that was started by a lot of Black Democratic leaders, which I feel personally is going to come to backfire on.
I think it's
so. I just did a recent article, and a lot of people that's been following Black Westchester, I've been doing publishers' desk shows. But I just wanted to play this, and then I just want to get everybody's reaction to what this DSA leader who is running for congressional office is saying. Hold on a second.
particularly important, not just for our community in Tigray, but communities of the global South, period, right? There's a certain reckoning that we are going to have with the global world order as it exists today, and the way that it fundamentally will have to shift going forward, right? The responsibility that we have as Americans, the recognition that is going to be required of us, of the exploitative and extractive nature that we play on the global scale and the global stage, is only going to be challenged if we are getting represented by people who understand that on a fundamental level, right? And that means getting more immigrants into office. That means getting more people who have heritage in the global South into office, because that's where those decisions are made specifically.
Listen, yeah, the hell with getting people who represent your community. The hell with getting more Black Americans or African Americans or whatever DSA wants to call us. Their goal is to get more immigrants into office. More people who don't have the historical experiences, Black people, Black Americans. They wasn't here for the struggle. They wasn't here for the civil rights era. They wasn't here for Jim Crow. They came over to benefit from that. And like Dr. Claude Anderson said, many of the countries American fought against, right? The most patriotic people in America is Black people. We fought in every war. But in order for us to have a global view, we have to have immigrants. Man, I think Black people better watch out. Better watch out.
Too late, Damon. We're too late. The die is already cast. I mean, this is just the latest iteration of a message that was already being put out as early as the 50s and 60s. And we're now seeing it like come to fruition. So there's three things that I do know that are absolute truths. The Republican Party doesn't care about issues that are important specifically to Black people. The Democratic Party doesn't care about issues that are important specifically to Black people. The Democratic Socialists of America do not care about issues that are specifically important to Black people. We, Black people, have to make our issues important amongst ourselves to the extent that they are recognized by these parties, to the extent that we can get some movement on the issues that are specific to our community. And until we do that, right, we will constantly see these new shiny objects put before us as though they're some kind of new thing. The Democratic Socialists of America is nothing new. They really came out of the Socialist Party of America in 1901, and they've been around forever. And what's happened is that when Bernie Sanders became the most popular Democratic Socialist candidate in 2016, he put forth a lot of messaging and rhetoric that aligned with issues of the Black community and the Black struggle. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't really meant specifically for us. It just happened to speak to us at the same time. And so make no mistake about it, like the Democratic Socialists of America, and the ones you got up there in New York that won the primary, Chevalier, I don't even know how to pronounce her last name, Chevalier. She didn't really believe, she didn't believe in mixed race marriages.
No, she didn't.
You know, we are championing people who we absolutely have no idea what their real beliefs are, because they dangle in front of us free housing, or reduce rent or some new benefit that's going to be, talked about and implemented for people who do not look like us first. And so we've been here waiting for quite some time for these parties to sort of recognize us. And the reality is that we should be past the point now of expecting any kind of recognition from any of these parties. Once the recognition comes, we should expect to be treated like the Native Americans were, and that it's not going to really be to our benefit to go along with anything that is suggested by these status quo establishment parties, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, or the Democratic Socialists of America. So people say, well, what then? Well, I think we should be, as you've been talking about, we should be looking to ourselves for our own solutions.
Absolutely.
And stop expecting somebody to come in and be the savior of our communities, be the savior of our families, be the savior of things that we have direct control and access to. So the Democratic Socialists of America, I did like a lot of. As a matter of fact, I was a Bernie bro. I would rather have a Bernie.
Actually was too.
Yeah, I'd rather have a Bernie Sanders than what we have now. But to the extent that Bernie used to always say, well, if the tide rises, all the boats rise. Not necessarily. It depends on how much weight was on the boat to start with. And we have a lot of weight in our community that is not in other people's boats. People don't come here with the entanglements that we've gotten over the last 400 years dealing here in this country. And so nobody really wants to say that, but that's the truth. Black Americans have a very unique American experience that no one else, and this is not like it's not meant to turn this into the suffering Olympics, but I would dare say that no one has suffered to the extent that the African American has, or the Black American has in America. The only person who even comes close, and I would probably say suffered as much, almost to the point of utter extinction, is the Native American. So.
Right, but the Native Americans got their rights. They got their reparations. They got their land, right? They got all these things to become a nation within a nation.
Yeah,
now,
they did. They did with the Native Americans. They recognized early on, because what had happened was they had deteriorated the numbers to the extent that the Native Americans were almost extinct. And so they said, let's put them on plantations, and they can have their own sovereignty now. If you go onto a plantation, a reservation, reservation, you're going to see some of the highest numbers of suicide per capita. You're going to see the highest number of alcoholism per capita. You're going to see some of the highest percentages of mental health issues. And why is this? Because fundamentally, money doesn't solve problems unless you know exactly how to use it inside the environment that you are in. And one of the things that has happened in America, other people, and this happened to the Native Americans, they were given, you would call it reparations, they were given sovereignty. And then they were provided with all kinds of contracts with respect to oil that was on their land and other resources. But the reality is that not having the knowledge of how to operate in a capitalistic society, which that is what America fundamentally is, we often forget that America really is about making money. This place has done a masterful job of pitching the American dream as though it's an opportunity that we can come here, own big houses, and our kids can go to school. That dream is not really a reality for the vast number of Americans that are here now. So the Native American, he is a perfect illustration of what would happen if we signed the deal for reparations with the United States government. I understand the need for reparations. I recognize the desire for reparations. I even believe that we are entitled to reparations. But when I say until we get political power, we're not getting reparations from this man. So we need to move on to the.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we're not getting it from him. We're not getting it from him. So now what? You know,
but we gave up our political power.
Our political power has been. I don't think we actually voluntarily gave it up. I think when we really peel back this onion of what's been done with the Black American in America, going back as early as the 30s, 40s, and 50s, you will see CIA involvement to the extent that a lot of what was being done to us, we still don't recognize what was done to us. And it was what was done to us locally is almost exactly what domestically what was done to other foreign countries to basically keep them divided so that resources could be exploited and so that people could be controlled and manipulated. And, you know, we love the story that's always told about Rosa Parks and Dr. King and, you know, the civil rights movement and everything. But what we don't understand and we don't really analyze deeply is who was really benefiting from a lot of what was done during the 60s and 70s. It cannot really truly be said that we have been a large benefactor from a lot of those programs. And I hate that's a large statement I just said, but it is true. If you look at our conditions and our circumstances now, we've actually gone backwards as a community and as a people. And that's not by coincidence. Everything that's happened in America is fundamentally designed by my background is in social science. You can't tell me that somebody didn't sit down and say, if we play these images, if we play this music, if we show this, this is what the effect will be. Somebody did that. And then somebody also said, we don't care. We don't care that this will have a detrimental effect on young Black men. We don't care that it will have a detrimental effect on young Black women. So that's sort of what has created the context in which we live in now. And that will probably bring us to that topic of Jay-Z and his punk ass.
Well, you know, I want before we go there to prove your point, historically, as far as hip hop is concerned, when and this also was by design, when you had the KRSs, the Chuck D's, the X-Clans, and you had young Black people getting knowledge of self and empowerment and stuff. They were like, oh, no, we got to put an end to this. And Absolutely. They started putting more and more money into what they call the gangster music, the most negative lyrics, the most negative imagery. I purposely, and these are, and Kanye tried to address this, but I think he missed the mark totally. When you have companies that they own the radio stations, they own the video stations, they own the TV stations, and they own the movie station companies. And a lot of them are Warner Brothers owns all that. You know what I'm saying? Like under Warner Brothers and some of them conglomerates, they own. So they control what you see and what you hear. The people don't understand the power of music. Like if you listen to gospel music, you will feel empowered. Yes, you will feel uplifted. If you will feel if you're depressed, you will uplift you. If you look at any of those movies the negative movies, what do you always see them gangbangers do before they go do something? They play the most rowdy, ruckus music to get themselves in the mood. Then they get, you know what I'm saying? Like to get them ready for what they're about to do. Music is very powerful, and they identified that was our power, and they used our power against us. And because a lot of us wasn't making money, they poured so much money that was a lot of money to us, but in realistic, it wasn't a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Making a lot of us richer to continue. I interviewed KRS a long time ago, and he said he's done one of his best albums on Jive as a solo artist. It went gold, right? But lyrically and musically, it was one of his best albums. The next year, in that same year, Too Short sold 5 million records. The next year, when their next album came up, 75% of all the budget went to Too Short's next album, and very little of it went to KRS's next album because they wanted to continue, and no disrespect, I know, you know what I'm saying, but they wanted to continue that and wanted to squash what KRS was doing.
We have not made it a issue loud enough in our community about the effect that the gangster culture has made, the gangster music has had on our culture. We've come to accept a lot of these people, even as leaders in our community, and they're really not leaders. They're just people with money who given a microphone and say some of the most ignorant things you can hear at times. But you know, from the time that hip hop started its downward spiral in the early 90s until now, there have been people in the background that have benefited financially from this. And we haven't called it out because we're scared to be called anti-Semitic. And the Jewish community leaders would never let a Little Kim be played in their communities. They would not let a Too Short be played in their communities. They would not allow that in their communities. But we have people who are Jewish fund and furnish and distribute and pay for this foolishness inside our communities, and nobody has called them out on it. Al Sharpton hasn't called them out on it. You know, none of our leaders have said, hey, you know, you're going to stop putting this mind poison out in our community. If hip hop, rap, gangster rap music had been a consumable edible, we would have sued the manufacturers by now because of its toxic effect that it has had. And so I'm studying that as a lawyer. Like, how can I connect the dots between what was known at the time when they put it out as to what effect resulted from it? Because we're suing gun manufacturers, and I don't even agree with some of those lawsuits, but these folks knew that this would have an effect. This past week, my Tuesday started off, I was at a sentencing for a 20-year-old who got 29 years for pleading guilty to attempted murder. And that was a plea because there was really 4 attempted murders on deck if we were to go to proceed to trial. Then the next day, I pled a gentleman to first-degree murder. And the deal that was worked was that if you plead guilty to this particular murder, the next murder that you're charged with will allow those charges to run concurrently. So there's 2 murders, 1 person, 21 years old. And this is not unique to the DC metro area. This is happening all over this country. Not one of these leaders, quote unquote, has said a word about this type of stuff. Jay-Z has not said a word about it because his music, along with many others, has propagated the mindset that our young people have.
Exactly.
When we came up, we were singing love ballads. We were singing Lionel Richie. We were singing all kinds of other stuff. But these people, for the price of some pennies, pretty much, and I know he's a billionaire now, but for the price of pennies, they did to our community far greater damage than the Klan ever did. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I just want to say one last thing. When people get twisted, and I'm old enough, I'm not from the beginning of hip hop, but I grew up on the beginning, and I guess I was the next level, between the new school and the old school. As Floyd Myers say, the middle school. He said that about Heavy D. Probably the middle school. In the early days, when these artists came from these these areas like the South Bronx when it was burning and all that stuff like that, they made party anthems to escape the reality of what they had to deal with day to day. Now you have a culture that encourages suburbanites to live out their gangster fantasies on record that don't know nothing about that life.
Nothing about it.
And much money gets pushed to promote it and to sell it. and we buy it because they get the best producer with the dopest beat. You know what I'm saying? And that's once we start nodding our head to it, the lyrics get into you. You know what I'm saying? Like I went back on the road last year for the first time since 1991, and I had to relearn all my lyrics. And I realized how easy that was because I could quote every Biggie lyric. Why? Because I listened to it over and over again. As I was walking, I just put my headphones on. It was just walking to my own song. And I really relearned my lyrics like that. These things that you listen to, we don't understand the power of them, the power of the tongue, the power of the words.
It programs your subconscious. They know that.
That's why I've always said, and I've gotten in trouble, there's a reason why the position at the station is called radio.
The Kaepernick.
And this happened for weeks.
The job he's called a radio programmer or a video programmer. That wording is not by accident. That's not just a cool title. They are programming the mind state of our young minds who are not developed yet. You know what I'm saying? And you know them ages. You're confused. You're trying to find yourself. You're trying to
find exactly. You're very impressionable at that stage of life.
Right. There's an artist that nobody heard of. His name is Sho Paraka, and he made a record, and he talks about that when he was coming up. You know, he was trying to find himself, and you know, he throw your guns in the air and all that stuff. And he was like, Then he got into college, and you know, he was reiterating some of the stuff he heard. And then then he got out of college and became a father and was working and had a job and a career. And he's like, yo, those lyrics don't resonate with him no more. He was like, yo, hip hop, at that point, he wasn't 50 years old yet. He was like, hip hop, you're close to 50. When you going to grow up? You know what I'm saying? Like, hip hop did not grow up with us. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us have grown, but the music did not grow with us. And the artists who are the artists that have grown with us, those are not the artists that get promoted and pushed.
They're no longer, One of the commenters says that I don't agree with the fact that hip hop hurt us more than the Klan. Let me be more precise. The numbers of black killings that can be traced back to gangster music has hurt us more than the number of lynchings of black people between 1865 and all the way up through 1950. So that number is put somewhere around 7,500 throughout that entire scope of time. But in terms of the Klan transforming into the benches and the police officers and the beatings and sort of that sort of stuff, I'm not talking about the long-term effects. I'm really talking about the people that have been taken off of this planet and out of our community, you know, forever.
I want to add one more thing to what you were saying. You were like, the people who put this music out, and the record, they don't let their kids listen to it
at all.
Do you know how many of the rappers who make this music
will not let their kids listen to it?
That tell me they won't let their kids listen to it? And I said, wait, but you want my kid, but you play it.
You're okay with my kid. You're with my kid listening to it.
Right. You make it.
Your whole lifestyle. Your whole lifestyle. How did you measure that? Google it, research it. Go back to 1865 because that was really the first years that it started getting tracked. The lynchings. Brian Stevenson does some good documentation about lynchings that happened in America all the way up and through to the modern time. The number is under 10,000 of the publicly known lynchings. That does not include what we don't know. So that's where I get that metric from.
I want to transition a little bit into this Jay-Z thing. First off, two things. One thing I want to you said when we talk about our leaders, and then you said Jay-Z never. The word leader, our leaders, and Jay-Z should not be in the same sentence. That's the first off. I want to stop.
Notice I said leaders.
No, I know what I said. Because we're looking to, because our community traditionally we have lost like great leaders, and we have a lack of leaders. We look to popular entertainers and popular athletes, expecting them to be our leaders. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was like two things about Jay-Z. First off, it was a freestyle rhyme, and freestyle rhymes, you say whatever you're gonna say. You know, whatever rhymes, whatever. I don't know why anybody puts any stock into the lyrics of a lot of these rappers. I don't know why anybody thinks that these people should be leaders or look to them to be leaders. They are not. They are rappers. They are in this to make money. They're in this to make records, and they do what they do. You understand what I'm saying? Lyrically, yo, he's good. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The show he put on at Yankee Stadium, artistically, that was a great show. Mm-hmm. Looking for him to be our leader, or looking for him to be, I know what he should be doing and what we want him to do, but that was never him.
Yeah.
If you look at his history,
we can play money with leadership. So we just automatically assume if you have money, you are a leader. We got people listening to Bootsy, you know, and saying he's a leader. Come and talk to us about how you make it. You know, and it's just like the ones who really have made it in this capitalist society, we don't really pay any attention to them. The ones who can give us some knowledge about how to really navigate this mind field, we don't listen to them because, number one, most of them are not very exposed about their level of wealth that they have. They're not running around with a gold chain, entourage, and this and that and the other. I've met some truly wealthy Black people, and when I say wealthy, I'm not talking about mega wealthy, but I've met some wealthy Black people, but they don't really flaunt it, you know, because what they're trying to do with their money isn't to draw attention to themselves. They're trying to create generational wealth. They're trying to create systems that employ people. They're trying to create institutions that really do things, you know, inside our community, largely. But the hip hop rapper, the gangster rapper, what they do is they literally walk around with, you know, money and show it in their videos and gold chains, look at my car and this and that and the other. And we impute to them leadership when in fact they're not really leaders at all. They're just people who know how to entertain very well. And when you get down to the brass tacks and you start saying, well, what is your net worth? How much are you worth if you have to liquidate everything today? They ain't making the Forbes list because, you know, they had to rent that car that was in the video.
Well, I would say most of the cars, and that's how we get us to most of the stuff and vehicles. The jewelry was a jeweler lent them that for the video. The vehicle, they paid some rich white person or whoever to lease their car for the video, to borrow the car, and a lot of the clothing companies give them clothes to wear in their videos.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of what you see is not what they have. They're selling us up. Somebody was talking about a lot of other things, like all of the things you named. I'm not going to call them all out. Those are all problems in our society. Those are all. We're not saying hip hop is hip. I'm not going to let nobody say hip hop is the root of all of this. That's wrong in our community. A lot of these things have been wrong before there was a hip hop. And if there wasn't hip hop, they would have found another way to continue selling us this stuff.
So I just want to play this video. Because
I know which one you're going to play.
No, I'm playing about my son because it's very disrespectful. It's disrespectful to Cap, disrespectful to the movement, and it just showed that this Negro is Johnny come lately. I always knew he was fake.
Did you? I mean, when he sat down at the table with the NFL, he should have said, "Listen, if you're going to have a conversation with me, Cap is going to be here."
No, listen, Jay. I'm talking about my son. I'm talking about a local New York so-called activist. Jay, we know that's Jay's MO.
Yeah,
we already know that he capitalized on a situation. He did it in the NFL, and he's doing it again with Target. And now he wants to deflect. And his little Negro minions, because that's what they are.
Yeah.
Because they want to be accepted in those type of groups. So they're going to say whatever Jay is going to say. But I want to direct this to my son because I think is very interesting. And AJ, you're going to catch it. You're going to catch what I'm saying.
I mean, he left the group chat. He's like, nah, he just went silent on us. And then next thing you know, we seen Kaepernick has a settlement. He got a settlement. They say he signed the NDA. And I'm like, he didn't tell us. He didn't. So you saying that we did all of this shit? That niggas sacrificed and beefing with other niggas and we doing all this shit. And the nigga we sacrificed for just disappeared from the movement and didn't even notify us to say, yo, look, and he should have took a settlement because they owed him his money.
That's right.
But he owed us, the people that sacrificed with him, the right and just the heads up to say, this is what we doing. I dare nigga to tell me I'm lying. And that shit hurt me because I'm a cat and I still love what he does to this day, bro. He got the I know your rights. And I'm not saying anything against what he sacrificed. Even he just paid for the young boys autopsy, all these things. I love what he does, but I just don't like this narrative that niggas did dirty by him when he literally left. And if that's what you wanted to do, I'm just saying I would have never did that.
That's right.
First of all,
So let me say something real quick. So two things. So what did Jay-Z said he signed? He said called it a what did he call it? A
non-disclosure agreement.
No. That's not the word that Jay-Z said. Jay-Z said he signed something else.
non-disparagement mean that he couldn't.
Non-disparagement agreement.
Okay, so I want to address that first.
Which was a lot.
In any lawsuit, and you're the lawyer, in most lawsuits, when there is a payout like that, the bigger company doesn't admit guilt, of course, and they usually have all parties involved sign a non-disclosure agreement so they can't talk about the terms of the agreement. And that's what he can't talk. He can't talk about. I got this much money for this, this, that, whatever.
There is no non-disparagement agreement because
right.
Thereafter, he wrote a. I forgot what it was, but there was a video that he did and where he was likening the NFL to
slavery.
Yeah, so there has not been any. He has not done any of this non-disparagement. There's not inside that.
So I just want people to understand what the difference is, and maybe the non-disparagement rhyme better than non-disclosure agreement in Jay-Z's freestyle. You try to rhyme things, and maybe disparagement rhyme better. But the real thing is, so as far as this man, let's look at what happened. This man used his platform to speak up to protest against police brutality. His largest platform that he had at a time when everybody's paying attention, the national anthem, he would not stand for it. He kneeled. Because of that, he was punished and banned from the NFL. And why people say there was no official ban, that's bullshit, because you have a quarterback at the height of his career who led his team to the Super Bowl, didn't win, but right after that, no team's going to sign him. And I've seen a lot of crappier
absolute
crappier quarterbacks right now getting contracts, and they can't hold the candle to Cat. Cat probably now still can't hold the candle to him. So he was literally banned. So he sacrificed his career, his financial stability, his generational wealth for his family. He sacrificed everything that he was to bring attention to this. Now, all of us, we joined him in support, but we ain't lose nothing. Let's go right there. Damon, it didn't make you not get paid at your job. It didn't make none of us. We were supporting him. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, to criticize someone, you never been in that position, to do that, he should have gotten paid, and he probably should have gotten paid a whole lot more.
Yeah, but that wasn't.
But once he got the money, look what he's doing with the money.
He did more with his money. Cap did more with his money than Jay-Z did with his billions.
Yeah, right. and not only that, for my son to say that he disappeared, he's talking out of two sides of his mouth. Because he says he should have took the settlement, but then he said, well, he took the settlement and he didn't tell nobody. He didn't have to tell you that he took the settlement. Like, that was common sense.
That he tell you when he kneeled. He didn't run it by you when he kneeled. He didn't run that by you.
And the second part about it, for him to say he was one of the first organizations. Absolutely not. He was a Johnny come lately on the movement with Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Johnny come lately. Mm-hmm. And it's sad that these Negroes right now, especially my song, these protest profiteers that do it for fame, but don't do it for the purpose of the people. Then he want to put a video up where he has a t-shirt. And I'm getting ready to post the t-shirt. You was not there when we had the protest for Cap and everybody was wearing the t-shirt. He was not there. So how did he get the goddamn t-shirt? And then he wants to go on stage and rep like he was with a movement that he never was.
You know, Damon, so many people are these Johnny come latelys that when that movement was at its height and at its peak.
Y'all see that t-shirt?
Yeah. Yeah.
That t-shirt was for black law enforcement when we stood up for Cap.
Yeah.
Black law enforcement. And that t-shirt was only given out at that rally. You see everybody standing there with that t-shirt. AJ, you was there, right?
I was there.
Exactly.
That's my picture. I'm the one on the other side of the camera. I'm the reason you got that picture.
Was my son there?
No, not only wasn't he there, you know who? The only person I know who was there was Sean King.
Exactly.
King and for all you black people talking junk, Serpico. Remember Serpico from back in the day?
Exactly.
Who still has a price on his head, came back to the 5 boroughs where there's a price on his head to stand in that press conference and stand with Cap. Serpico was there. I met the real Serpico. Like I was like, oh shoot, that's Serpico.
So how is he got in the video? In the video, you rocking our t-shirt. You rocking our t-shirt. Black law enforcement. You're Johnny come lately, buddy. You wasn't the first. You wasn't there. So don't put up no video acting like you was really rocking with Cap. And I'm talking to my son. And Kaepernick ain't got to tell you shit. Who are you? What have you sacrificed for police families? Of your own time. And just like Johnathan said, he took his own money and was out there. And you talking about he disappeared. He never disappeared. You were just never on.
He was never there.
Let me finish. My son, you just wasn't on his level of activism. So you never saw him. You wasn't on his level. So you didn't see the things he was doing because he wasn't doing it for fame or to be noticed or for a check.
And let me also say, just for those who are listening and may not know. So Damon, the brother who's talking, he's also one of those who met with Eric Garner's mom at the house with one of the people that went to the house. We covered the funeral. You understand what I'm saying? With the peacekeepers and all of those, and none of those people that I see was there. None of those people that are talking were there. And we covered a lot of other situations that he was not out, because what Cap was originally protesting was the police brutality, the police killing of black people.
That's
and
really
and in those cases, I'm not trying to be funny, and I wasn't at every one of them. But when I was there with Eric Garner's family, I know Eric Garner's mother. When I was there with this one and this one, when we were there for everything that Kenneth Chamberlain has been through, none of these people were there. None of these people were at the rallies. None of these people were when we went down to Police Plaza and protested. None of these people were down when we went here and protested against Pat Lynch and the police union. None of these people were there, and I was there with the camera. Not only was I there, there's pictures of it, and I documented it. I was there documenting these movements. Like, I don't talk about a lot of that stuff, but just because you don't see somebody and they don't talk about it doesn't mean they was there. I didn't see you, and not just him, but a lot of people who talk right now, I did not see them there. I saw them at the bigger things when things got bigger and it was more press involved. And it was kind of like, the thing to do. Like remember back in the 90s when Public Enemy had the Malcolm X, the Africa medallions, and then that was the thing to do. So everybody was wearing them, and some people didn't know what that meant. Like, once things become the thing to do, everybody joins in. You know what I'm saying? But during the early days of doing the work, I can speak definitely. Damon was there, and I was there a lot of the times covering it as press, covering it with the camera, covering it, taking pictures and video. Well, you know what I'm saying? And Damon was there. I just want people to know, for those who don't know, you know what I'm saying? Black West is celebrating 12 years, and Damon's been doing this a lot longer than 12 years. The brother speaking has put in work. So when he speaks, he's speaking from that lens. So there's people that don't know Damon and like, oh, who is he to be talking? I just want to fill those people in who he is while he's talking.
I really don't really care. But let me tell you straight music. How do you get on a radio show with the rapper? I don't even know the Negro's name, right? And
that's Jay-Z's next. That's Jay-Z's man, Memphis Bleak.
Well, how you get on with Memphis Week, and he disrespected you? He disrespected you and activists. Then you're gonna get on his show and you're gonna freaking tap dance about Cap. Cap is working at a higher level than you are right now, my son. That's why you can't see him, because he's not in your stratosphere.
Yo, Jonathan, I wrote an article recently, The Man in the Arena. The man in the arena who's actually doing the work, and everybody's criticizing, and everybody has an opinion and everything, but they are not doing the work. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And Cap was the man in the arena. Cap was the man with the national and with everything to lose, and who lost everything.
Who lost
everything.
A lot of these guys, right? They criticize from the standpoint of looking back, and none of their criticism is actually legitimate at all. Because as we talked, Cap was losing money from the moment he kneeled.
Exactly.
And Damon, I think I met you in 2014 when I started the National Association Against Police Brutality. Mm-hmm. It was so a lot of people across this country, police brutality, or let me be clear, killings of unarmed black men,
police criminality,
were happening at unprecedented numbers during that time period. And when I say that time period, I'm talking about from 2014 all the way up until 2017, 18, and capping off, America came to, knowledge of it, or I should say participation of it, by 2020. That's how long. It was 6 years before George Floyd's killing was sort of became the final tipping point. But before George Floyd, there was Freddie Gray. Before George Floyd, there was Walter Scott. Before George Floyd, there was Tamir Rice. Before George Floyd, there was Michael Brown. Before George Floyd, there was Eric Garner. When I was involved with doing what I was doing with the National Association Against Police Brutality, I started recognizing a pattern with celebrities they were contacting the organization to try to do something with us, But then I would ask them, well, we have a 20-point platform, you know, where we're giving 20 suggestions, legislative suggestions. Just retweet that. Just do that, you know. But they wanted to do something that was more personalized so that they could essentially capitalize on using the movement for their own personal needs. And I called them pandemonium pimps, because what they were doing was, and this was at a time when we were really trying to get state legislators to look at policies that could change the dynamics. And we saw something, like, literally, people weren't serious about police misconduct. They were serious about seeing about policemen. They didn't want any solutions. They wanted
because they couldn't make money.
They couldn't make
if
no
there
money.
Was
if there were solutions.
And
I don't want to name any names, right?
Listen, I name the names. I name the names because I know they're going to grow.
Look, they out there now. They're out there now. They're out there now. They're out there now. They're out there now.
I can go on and on.
Let Jonathan finish. Let Jonathan finish his thought.
They're out there doing pro-Palestinian advocacy now. They're out there doing, one of them, the guy who became like the de facto icon for the entire Black Lives Movement, DeRay McKesson. He ran for political office and lost. We never heard any more from these people about police accountability. I'm not going to call no names, right? Because you know why? I don't want to tear people down anymore. You know, the reality is that
no, brother, I disagree.
You know, their work and their conduct showed what they were about, right? They were exploiting a movement without ever really trying to solve the issue. And if they couldn't control everyone, they put up websites. You don't hear nothing from any of these people anymore. There was a campaign zero.
Let me tell you something. Here's why I have to disagree because of the fact that there are families. There are families. And let me tell you something. And people that are listening, until you have an experience,
yes,
where a grown man is calling you on the phone in tears that a police officer killed his father, or a woman is on the phone with you in tears, bawling out about losing her child to police violence.
Can you send somebody? Can you send somebody to clean the blood up? They ain't even come back to clean the blood up after.
You will never understand how I feel about that, because I have been many times the one that these families call. So yes, I will call out the shysters that do it for control and do it for money. And if they can't control the family, they don't even help them. And I could go deeper into that. And I know for a reason, Ben Crump is a shyster. I'm not even going to get into it, because it'll put some people in jeopardy of the conversation that they entrusted me with. And he can't even barely read. Shit. If you like, I don't know. Let me tell you something. I would not hire no lawyer. I don't care. Me and AJ had this conversation. AJ said, well, maybe it was a bad day. I'll be damned. I'll be damned. If I can find it this quick, I'll put it up.
But you know what? I also want to say, go ahead.
No, we just have to understand, when you're looking at these people And Jonathan, I can ask you too. How many cases have Ben Trump actually took to trial?
So Ben,
yeah, settlement.
Yeah, Ben Crump is not a litigator, right? It's important to know when I was coming out of law school in 2017, Ben Crump was the president of the National Bar Association, the Black Bar Association. There was a small article that showed about the partnership between Ben Crump and John Morgan. Very few people know that John Morgan, the largest personal injury firm in America, essentially in the early days of Ben Crump's ascension, he bankrolled. He gave him the resources to sort of parachute in to areas, get to the families first, sign the cases, and then let the litigators who actually know how to practice law litigate and settle cases. And that's basically, now I'm going to say something, because his utility is not necessarily in litigating, because all lawyers and all attorneys are not litigators. His utility is in bringing awareness to issues that are, killings that probably wouldn't get any attention but for Ben Crump parachuting in. And so, I do think that much of the public doesn't understand that he's not a litigator. They just they see that's Ben Crump. Ben Crump and Al Sharpton out there. They go, listen, if Ben Crump and Al Sharpton are the only ones that show up, ain't nobody getting paid nothing. Okay, because there's nobody getting paid nothing, because at the end of the day, the only way you get a settlement is by launching a lawsuit, and the only way you launch a lawsuit is by having the factual allegations to be able to make a city or a municipality or a police agency say, we have potential liability in this, we want to go ahead and settle this claim. Now, to the extent that those have been done, I mean, if you want to talk about Ben Crump's client management skills, Tamir Rice's mom, she's pretty vocal about that.
Absolutely. And because there's a lot of moving parts, and what a lot of people do not understand about police misconduct work and essentially civil rights work is that unless you have a catastrophic loss, an arm missing, you got shot in the back, or you're dead, right? The cost to litigate that claim will exceed the recovery made. And so out of probably 100 calls that come into the National Association Against Police Brutality, 97 of them, because the person says, I was just held for the night, or it is a claim, but and so what I want to start doing is I want to start showing people how to actually sue the police and these municipalities on their own without the help of attorneys, because you actually literally can litigate your own claim up until the time where it's showtime in the courtroom in front of a jury.
Wound of the head. A, the injury, proliferation of the left internal.
Nigga, free slaves read better than that. What in the Jerry's kids is going on here? How did this man pass the bar?
Yo, I saw. There's
no way.
Man, that got me scratching my head on that. I saw part of the clip on that, and I was like, I saw a part of the clip on that. I thought it was AI at first, to be honest with you.
Yo, bro, I thought it was AI too, but then I seen it and more. I was like, yo, this is real. Like, dude, don't ever look.
And the thing about it is, he didn't have to be the person doing that. You're like, I'm a trial lawyer. I know my strengths and weaknesses, right? I perform good in front of a jury. I know how to read the script. I know how to play the part. But, I'm not the guy who likes to sit down and write the long 30-page motion. So I'm going to get somebody to do that. Ben knew before he picked up that damn report because Ben looked at that report before he got his ass behind that damn podium. He should have said, there's some words in here I do not know how to pronounce. Somebody else read this, and I'll stand behind and nod my head. But
See, that's when that's when the man sounds like Halle Berry.
Look, we're getting ready to launch WeSueBadCops.com in September.
Good.
You know, we expect because I found out that the only way to really we're not going to get any legislative policy to stop police misconduct. We're not going to get, there's nothing going to come out of Washington. If and there was some legislation that was put forward, but it never made it anywhere out of Washington. So now I'm like, okay, because when I first started, I didn't want to be the blood-sucking lawyer suing cops. There was already enough. That was what I thought about a lot of them. Like, they show up, they, take their 33 to 3% because they, do whatever, and most of them end up in settlement, and I didn't want to be part of that. So I went into just regular trial litigation, trial lawyering. But and then I wanted to work it from the policy side. What I found out was that, it don't matter what laws are on the books. Cops are going to keep on killing people, and some of them, yeah, that was can you play it again just a little bit more?
The fact that
you're encouraging him.
Subra. I'm looking at this word.
Hey,
I
that
know.
shift
Okay, eyes reads now.
Wait. He said, I'm looking at this word. Dude, you are a lawyer.
Sound it out, Ben. Sound it out.
What? You can't be serious.
Yeah.
You can't be serious.
I agree. Everybody needs to play to their strengths. One of the things that worked for Black Westchester, Damon was more upfront, but Damon was less of the writer. And he teamed up with a writer who was a pen to his movement. And that's what built Black Westchester. And my goal was to document and videotape. And you know what I'm saying? I wasn't the in front of the camera dude. I mean, I've been in front of the camera, but that wasn't necessarily a comfort point on speaking out at press conferences and stuff, which I've done. But that was his thing. You know what I'm saying, sir? And that's,
you gotta let everybody on the team play their position.
right.
And
Exactly.
recognize when you're not good at a certain position. I'm not good at client management. I'm not good at client management. I don't do the whole hand holding. I tell the families right up front, I'm not going to see your kid in jail more than twice. Okay. I'm going to see him to let him know I'm his attorney, and here's what the state says you did. And then I'm going to review the discovery. I'm going to review the discovery, and then I'm going to go ask him so he can tell me a pack of goddamn lies what the hell happened. And then he was going to tell me what happened, and I'm going to say, okay, if that's your defense, then you like it, I love it, let's go to trial. And I don't really, I'm not the hand holder. I'm like a doctor that looks at the charts and says, I could poke holes in this, I could poke holes in that, I could do this and that and the other. This is our trial theory. What do you think? I told a mother the other day, I didn't call you all for help on how to try your son's case. You all called me for help. In fact, you paid me. Don't come in here telling me, you paid me. You know what I'm saying? Negroes want to hop on the plane, and they don't hop on the plane and tell Mr. Pilot, can I come and see you and talk to you about what altitude we're going to be flying at and what kind of clouds are those we're going to be passing through? No, you sit your ass back and coach. You let the people who are trained, experienced, and knowledgeable have passed some damn tests, and you trust that they know what they're doing. But now, because in our community, damn near everybody's gone to jail once or twice, they have become experts at litigating, motions and suggesting what to do. I'm like, I'm fed up with it. Like, that's why I really want to go ahead and just like sue cops. I want to get out of trial lawyering because, it's crazy. You have kids now who are really doing more time than's necessary because these new young brothers, I hate saying this, they really don't do crime right. They don't even give us nothing to work with.
No, because they put everything on social media. You're on video doing this act, but even though you have on the mask, Nick, bro,
these shoes that you got on, these gloves that you got on, you're holding this shit up in an Instagram post 3 days after, 10 days before. Now, I can argue that everybody has those shoes and everybody has those gloves and everybody has that exact same shirt, but they match your complexion, they match your height. And to add a little seasoning on top, you wrote a whole goddamn rap video about this stuff that has detail. Okay? So,
look at that basketball player.
Yeah.
He held the gun. He was holding the gun in the club. All his people were live streaming. He got suspended from the league and then did it again.
Yeah.
First off, you need some better friends.
Yeah,
because
man.
first off, your friend, you are the money. You're supposed to always protect the money. So he's supposed to be like, no, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like Allen Iverson was rough around the edges, but he had one of his boys that told the rest of his boys, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing that around him.
Man, I almost want to go into comedy after my law career is over because, like, there used to be some crime done in our communities that nobody could figure out. Like, you know, they come to the lawyer, and the lawyer be like, man, I got plenty to work with here. I mean, they're not going to be able to get you on this. I don't know if they even, hell, I don't even know if you did it. Don't tell me. But now, man, it's these guys are doing it so wild, man, and you know they're texting about it, texting before they do it. I don't know who needs to hear this. I'm giving this as a public service announcement. If you're dealing narcotics, do not accept payment in Cash App over an extended period of time. Do not accept payment by Zelle for your narcotics. That is explicitly a
payment by Zelle.
But you know, these folks, man. I'm like, where are you getting this from? You know, how are you expecting this not to come to fruition at some point, man? You know, and they man, you sound like you don't want to work for me, Negro. What can I do with this?
Yeah, let me ask you a question real quick. So I had to sit with somebody in court one day while they were going through, so I had to sit with them, and their case was like towards the end. And we were like, yo, the difference with my era and this era, these dudes walked in front of the judge with their pants down, with their shirt. Like, yo, dude, remember your mama always told you, you know, dress in a suit or dress a certain way, you know what I'm saying? So you look a certain way. Like, are we lost? There ain't no more mamas like that? There was one dude. There was one young man, and you could tell that his mama was right there with him next to him, that he had one of the mamas. Now, he wasn't, you know, he had a blazer, inexpensive blazer, you know, a little tie. You know, you could tell he don't tie ties often, but you know what I'm saying? But he tried, though.
He tried.
These dudes was like, yo, they were at the park, dude. I was just like, yo, what the hell? How are you going up?
There's no fear. There's like, and it's crazy because, you know, they come to court on the minor charges. They'll come to court, walk through all the security, smelling like the loud you can get. You know?
I was just gonna say
like
that too.
The whole courtroom up, and I had a judge address it. He says, I don't know who it is, but whoever it is, if you ever come back in my courtroom again, and he gave me the riot act. You know, I didn't turn to my guy and look. I just stare straight ahead and, you know, address the court. But this next generation, man, I'm starting to, you know, we're starting a program called TORCH, which stands for Teach Our Children How, and it's essentially a vocational training program behind printing. But man, this next generation, first off, men are missing from the communities, from their families. Mm-hmm. The nuclear family has been destroyed. We got all this other stuff, and I'm sorry, this other stuff is not working, period. With strong male leadership in our households and in our communities is what's needed. And we're the only culture. The Jews don't have it, the Asians don't have it, the Africans don't have it, the Caribbeans don't have it. We are the only culture that accepts the removal of the black man as leader in our family. It's kind of accepted. When he comes home, you know, he's not treated like the head of his household. You know, he's denigrated in public. And so we got to get back to some very, very, very basics in our community. And a lot of these people don't want to hear it now that, you know, that ship has sailed. Some of these women know, oh, I can do it on my own. Damn it, that's why you buy yourself, you know. But
exactly.
I got one of the old generation black women. You know what I'm saying? Like she appreciates having a man in the house. You know?
But it is, listen, but it is what it is. You can't sit here and tell a man who is working, providing, that you don't need a man. Then the man will tell you to just go be by yourself.
Yeah.
Then I don't need to be here. I can be a woman that will appreciate me being a man. And if you don't want to appreciate a man being with a man, then either you go get another man or go get another woman. Right? And I keep it 100. Because at the end of the day, like women are alone because they choose to be alone. Oh, no, let me take that back. A lot of women are alone because no men are choosing them. Right? Because it is the man, and I know some women that's listening, really don't care. You could go right on Amazon and get my book, The Book of Black Love. I'll tell you the same thing in the book. For women, the man is the one that chooses the woman to be the wife. He's the one that gets the ring. So if you feel that
he's the one who does the pursuing, they even question that though. That this generation questions all the social norms. Women should.
And that's why they by themselves.
That's why they by themselves.
And that's why they by themselves. And that's why they're with nothing but demons, because they're looking for 6 packs, 6 figures, and over 6 foot tall. That's 666. That's the mark of the beast. And that's why many of your women are living in hell with these Negroes that y'all choosing, because you're choosing demons.
It's just
I'm about to do a show on that too.
Huh?
I'm about to do a show on that, like straight up explaining to women, y'all looking for the mark of the beast. This is what this culture, this broken black culture, have our women doing.
But it wasn't always like this. It wasn't.
No, it wasn't always.
We slid off after the 60s and 70s.
Well, you remember that scene in Claudine? When she was getting money from the system or whatever, and they would come by to do, and James Earl Jones had to hide in the closet. The gifts that he brought, the toaster and all that, and he had to hide in the closet because she couldn't have a man, and he couldn't buy her gifts for her to continue getting that money.
Yeah, we better really start recognizing what a lot of these programs that have been allowed to be propagated in our communities, what they really have done, what the effects have done. I've been over the last several years been reading Thomas Sowell. Is anybody there?
Yes.
Man,
that's my hero.
I bought one of his books called Social Justice Fallacies, and a lot of the things that some of the stuff that I espoused it without ever questioning any of the empirical evidence, it really, it was really shocking to see sort of like how I can process through things logically on the legal side, but I was not processing things logically through on the social justice front. And a lot of what we're going through in our community is based on false assumptions and false narratives, that we've accepted as true, and it's really sad because most of us will never question much of what we've been being told in this last 20 years. I don't espouse to the narrative of this ominous white man who is all powerful, who's able to do me in, and that's being pushed and propagated because people want to be, quote unquote, your savior. You listen to a lot of white liberals who think that they have the solution for our communities, and if they had the solutions for our communities, they've been espousing some of this shit for the last 30, 40 years, and it ain't changed nothing. So if I were a gambler, man, I'd stop playing that hand.
I just I'm glad you mentioned it. I just ordered it on Audible, so I'll be listening to it later on.
Man, that's a good one.
I wanted to when you were talking about your clients and they putting it all on social media, we're seeing more and more. You know that says like, anything you say can be used against you in a court of law.
Yeah,
that does include your rap lyrics.
Yeah,
I played. Matter of fact, I was brought in as a expert witness.
Mm-hmm.
They were not. This young man was on trial for murder. His brother was a rapper
mm-hmm.
and was doing freestyles. He's doing his Freestyle Friday, I think, every day.
Mm-hmm.
He had for a young man. I was impressed that he had the wordplay that of my day. Like, you know, I'm cleared. So they had this one young looking white dude in the DA's office, could have been like a hip hop cop type of dude,
mm-hmm.
translating and writing out what the lyrics said. And they were trying to enter into evidence that what the lyrics were saying, if you testify against my brother, I'll kill you. That's not what the lyrics were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I had to come in and do this whole 2-day thing about freestyle and the exaggeration of freestyle and braggadocious, and they used the word gang, and I'm like, yeah, there was the Sugar Hill gang. You don't think they're a gang, right? And I had to explain all this stuff, and then they were like, is there anybody that you ever heard actually make certain claims and records and stuff like that? I was like, yeah, one of your favorite rappers, Eminem. He's killed his mother, he's killed his girlfriend, he's done all this stuff. He's never been accused of any of this in court. So I had to do all that. But now I'm seeing more and more seriously, they're using
actual killings.
And I want you to speak a little bit about that for our audience, about the dangers of that, you know, what's going on in court these days.
Well, I mean, the lyrics. So what happens is the state will latch on to the lyrics that they find on YouTube or Instagram or whatnot, and they will then go back and sort of like juxtapose it over the facts, as opposed to, was this really a rendition of what somebody did? And so because there's a lot of artistic expression, and you just use the term braggadocio in it, you know, is it really a rendition of what somebody did, or is it an artistic expression that sort of matches it? Because unless it has very explicit facts that line up on the actual killing, it's not relevant. And so what it is it makes trials extraordinarily risky, because if it comes in, the jury's not going to be able to differentiate unless you have a lawyer or an expert witness like yourself who's going to distinguish and say, this is not what this means. This is what it means.
It's funny, so thing to see if this was going to be entered in, you know, for the jury to hear it. The jury wasn't there. What got them is he also said something about money on the stock market. And I said, yo, does anybody believe this young man has a healthy stock portfolio and is everybody laughed. I said, so how can that be accepted as not true and the rest of it has to be true? Like, you understand? Like, I was showing
and that's exactly that's what we're going to do there. Like,
that's why the judge ruled. Yeah, the judge ended up ruling that this cannot be entered into.
Yeah, because it's too confusing, and it leaves for interpretation. It leaves up for interpretation what it is. You know, what is it really meaning? And for criminal defense lawyers, we're okay with the jury being confused, as long as the confusion is something that I can really say, I bet you still got a question about that. But when it really leaves confusion leaning in the wrong direction, you don't want that in there, because it'll cause somebody to deliver a conviction on something that could be interpreted in a multitude of ways. So again, you know, it goes to, you know, is it really about facts that are specific to that case? And is it being, is whoever is putting it forward, the proponent of that evidence, does it really mean what that person is putting it forward as, or does it really mean something else, or can it mean something else? And
you only see that in hip hop.
Yeah.
You don't see, ain't nobody was knocking down Bob Marley's door because he said he shot the sheriff. Was nobody knocking down his door? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Right.
all them country singers and blues, the things that they said in some of them records, ain't nobody come knocking down their door. So it's only the black art that's supposed to be.
Well,
everything else is art.
It's unfortunate, but it's black art that's been lined up on facts that are close in time to, close in time to the publication. Like if you publish something 10 days before and, you know, the killing happened 10 days after you published it, you know, it's not really relevant, you know. Right. But if you publish something afterwards and it really captures what was done, you might have a problem. You know?
And you add facts that wasn't known to the public. That you had to be the killer.
And that's it. You know, you got these guys that, and when you're rapping in the same shit you're on the video in, allegedly doing the alleged criminal conduct, brandishing the same firearm. I've seen it all, man. And you know, it's between the rap video, Instagram. I don't even want to tell you what gets said on the damn jail calls.
Yes. That's amazing. Yeah. You know they're recorded, but you know they're recorded though. You know, I've never been to jail, and I know they're recorded. So there's no way the inmates don't know they're recorded. Like I'm just like, yo, there's no way.
And I've been through I've seen so much ignorance, man.
I've seen people go to court because someone else did a crime in their neighborhood and they rapped about it. Like, because they were trying to get street cred. So they rapped something very similar to it.
And they the ones ended up with the criminal charges because,
right.
You know, you put yourself out there as, you know, doing X, Y, and Z. I mean, you have to have a criminal defense lawyer who knows how to pick that stuff apart, really how to question the logical chain. Does it really line up on what's being done there? First question they asked him was like, hey, the state says this happened at this, and this time. Where were you? Oh, I was at the game watching with my girl. Great, we're on an alibi defense. You know? You know, if you say, well, I was there, but I didn't do X, Y, and Z, did you tell anybody else you were there? No, I didn't. Then don't say that shit again to anybody else. The state has to prove that you were there. You know, did you give a statement to the police? Yes, I did. Okay, well, whatever you told the police, we're boxed in now. So now that you've told them that, I just need to get a copy to see what dumb shit you told the police and then see if I can pick that apart. But if you can't, you know, if what you told them is pretty much stupidity and doesn't line up with the facts, you know, it's best just not to give any statement whatsoever. Just say you want a lawyer and go on. I mean, we have a whole channel on A&E that plays this 48 hours. And I'm like, how do they keep coming up? Isn't the message is not out there. When they bring you in the box, just say you want a lawyer. This whole fucking show is people sitting down for extended periods of time talking to the police about well, you know, I wasn't there. And they start off that way. And then, you know, okay, I was there, but, you know, okay, suddenly you were lying.
Bill Dukes in Menace Society. You know you fucked up, right? You know you was fucked up, right?
Exactly.
Just shut up.
I wanted to put that out there for, you know, the presence of what's going on and what the kids are doing on social media, because you had touched upon that. That is a real thing. And I wanted parents and stuff to hear this too. Like, this is a real thing. You're dry snitching on yourself on social media. Like, and your social media is one of the things they look into in an investigation. It's one of the first things they go to.
Listen,
is he on social media?
The cops have personalities that they've created, fake accounts that they've created, interacting with people, involved in groups to be able to see what the chat is and this and that and the other. It's not, you know, to be on social media as a quote unquote gangster is probably one of the most stupidest things that you could ever be. You know, yeah, to be on social media. If you're, I don't know any real gangsters that are on social media. I mean, for me, my best clients are the real criminals, the ones who, you know, they do things a certain way, and I'm like, wow, you know, think the state might have proven that beyond a reasonable doubt. But these other guys, there's no real hope for them because they don't know how to do. And thank God they leave a lot to be desired as far as being a criminal. Yeah.
And that's why
I'm getting out. That's why I'm slowly transitioning out because I've become like I got to leave it for the young guys who want to experience the ride. I've done everything I kind of wanted to do as far as being a criminal defense attorney. I've won a few murder trials. Yeah, I'm done. I just want to. The only thing I want to do is do some DUIs. I feel kind of, it's just jaded by the whole thing, quite frankly.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's a whole. Like the Carmelo. We didn't even talk about the Carmelo Anthony case, or the case down in South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
Nolan.
Yeah, no, the one in South Carolina or the one out there.
Okay.
You damned if you do and damned if you don't as a black attorney. Because number one, the Carmelo Anthony case, they went with black attorneys to begin with, but I'm pretty sure as they got into the facts of that case and saw that this is a bad fact case and it's going to be very difficult to obtain an acquittal in that particular jurisdiction with this fact set. Somebody communicated that to the parents, and the parents said, well, we're getting rid of your black ass because you don't know what you're doing. Like literally, that's almost how some of them talk to us. As soon as you really tell them this is what my professional opinion is, and you're going to have a blah, 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 they tell you to your face, I'm getting me a Jew lawyer. I'll see you later, and out the door they go. But I'm sure that somebody looking at that Carmelo Anthony case, it was different. That was a difficult fact scenario. Then they got into the trial situation, and I don't know how you present a self-defense defense when you don't have your client testify. So, part of self-defense is that you reasonably believed that you were in harm's way to the extent that you needed to use deadly force. And so for him not to put Carmelo Anthony on the stand and have him, testify as to what happened, number one, what he was thinking, number two, and why did he run, all of that. I was like, I even if it was a loser case, like if I lose a case and I know it's going to be a loser case, man, I'm going all out. I'm saying all kind of shit. If I know I got bad facts and my client wants to ride the ride, he gets the full show. Because what do we got to lose by putting it all out there, And at some point, I don't think that he was, in my opinion, I don't think that he was either advised properly about the risk of trial or he understood the gravity of going to trial, because that should have been a case that was sought to get a plea bargain that would give him a manslaughter charge or something that would expose him to less time, and nobody was real about that. And that's part of, you don't go to a doctor and be like, man, just tell me what I want to hear. And from the outset, you had lawyers, some lawyers and these community advocates who jumped on this case and got out in front of the cameras immediately about him being innocent and demonizing the alleged victim at that time. I'm like, well, if there was going to be any mercy or grace shown by the prosecution team, we've now polarized the whole scenario to where your client is not going to get that benefit of any mercy or grace. And so you have to think about these things strategically. And a lot of those are just self-inflicted wounds. Nobody wants to say that because we're black lawyers. We shouldn't talk about, other black lawyers and what they do. No, they fucked up from the jump. And that's it. They messed up from the jump. And the community activist, one of the community activists that got on board, I was like, man, good grief. You're out here literally, causing the prosecution, if there was any mercy, you're causing them to have, ire towards your particular client. It's not going to give you any kind of wiggle room or negotiation space. You're pigeonholing them. So that
there's a question. I don't know if you want to answer it, but what advice would you have for a black person that has been abused in a nursing home / rehabilitation center?
Well, that's easy. Go look on the internet, find a lawyer that specializes in nursing home abuse. Call the number, interview him. Then, if you don't like how he sounds or how he's talking to you, call another one until you find one that you really have a good fit for. But make sure they have experience in that particular practice area, right? Don't just run to somebody who's they've got an Esquire behind their name, because nursing home abuse is, especially, there's things that need to be proven that you can kill the case from the outset of the case if you haven't litigated that type of case before. And there'll be a lot of people who will sign you because they see dollar signs but don't know how to get to them.
In 1987, I learned the importance of actually hiring an entertainment lawyer and not just a lawyer when reviewing your recording contract. Because nobody ever told us what an entertainment lawyer was. We just got a lawyer. So
That's my lawyer.
It was one of the members. It was one of the members in the group's family lawyer.
Yeah.
He didn't know nothing about entertainment law, and I realized that was a thing.
Yeah.
You need to get people. I say that to say you need to get whatever it is. You need to have someone who's specialized and has experience in that area.
You go to a general practitioner, he looks up, he says, "Yep, you definitely are sick. You got these issues going on. Here's a specialist that I'm going to refer you out to who handles these types of specific medical issues. I know enough to say I think you might have something wrong with you, but I don't know enough to do the open heart surgery on you, sir." You go to a surgeon who's a cardiologist who does that. And with black folks, oh man, that's my lawyer, man. He's a lawyer, man. Please. Yeah,
Which is great. What's your legal opinion on the young case with the young brother that they claim drowned himself?
Nolan. Yeah.
So,
and then we're gonna close out after that, because this is.
So I don't know what's been done from the investigative standpoint. I do know this. I want to flip the roles. White boy killed, and five black kids. Leave the island, and white boys back there on the island. Them 5 black kids would be in custody somewhere, begging for a lawyer, or probably talking about what the hell happened because they don't know to shut up. The phones would have been confiscated, to be able to file search warrants on to find out what, So to get to probable cause, right? The first thing is just circumstances that would cause a reasonable person to believe that a crime has been committed and that the defendant committed the crime, right? If me and you go out on a damn boat to an island and I don't come back.
Exactly.
Wait, and I have your phone.
And you have my mobile phone
and keys.
Those circumstances would say that something is amiss here, sir.
I don't turn your phone over to the family or nothing. You only get it. You only get it because you will find my phone and you come to my house.
Articulable suspicion to detain you and investigate this further? Yes. Do I have probable cause to be able to arrest you and take you before a magistrate on charges? Possibly. Depends on how good my writing skills are. Okay. But do I have the ability to get into your phone to see if there's any fruits of a crime or if there's anything? I'm telling you, the way that some of these search warrants, particularly here in the state of Maryland, have been written, absolutely they could have gotten to those phones. And so I'm not knowing, and we're not privy to what is the depth of the investigation that's been done so far. We just know the conclusion, and the conclusion seems ominous. The conclusion would lead someone to conclude that something nefarious happened out there on that island. And what is the position of these individuals that have come back? They have probably lawyered up and shut up at this point because
one of them's stepmother's a judge. The judge.
Yeah. Man, they're going to be advised. Look, you ain't saying nothing. It goes back to like the situation that happened over in Georgia where the brother rolled himself up in a wrestling mat.
Right.
We've got to really understand that we have not reached the point where justice is equal in this country. And that means that investigations are not equally deep. And so, there should have been some information given to the family and to the community by now about what really transpired out there on on that island. And the very fact that none of that has been done at this point leads me to conclude that something nefarious was done, and that the district attorney and the state investigators want to be able to try to get this right because they're going to make an allegation, and they're not getting any cooperation from any of the people who are out there on that island.
Let me ask you a question. So, I brought this up in my article about it. Like, it's not customary, it's not common practice. Well, have you seen situations where the authorities have already ruled no foul play before any toxicology report came in, before any autopsy came in, before forensically looking at all the phones of the people, before doing
having been a public information officer for Georgia's 5th largest sheriff's office before I was a lawyer, the standard word is it's currently under investigation. We have no conclusions as to what has happened at this point, and as soon as we reach a conclusion, or we believe that we are filing applications for charges, the media will know so, and we'll hand out copies of the application for the statement of charges. In this particular situation, they've reached some conclusions that have been at least said publicly that caused me to have some concern about the depth of the investigation. But in terms of, is that normal? No. Normal is delay as far as conclusions until we've investigated appropriately and we can back up our conclusions, because you don't want to get out over your skis with information ahead of or declarations ahead of the actual factual data.
So somebody asked who I am. So, who is the brother in the middle? I'm AJ Woodson. I don't know how you might know me from a couple of different things, but I'm the editor-in-chief.
They're just new viewers, man.
Yeah. I'm the editor-in-chief of Black Westchester. One of the hosts of this show.
The Nolan Wells situation, and again, we go. I'm not saying that Ben Crump and Al Sharpton were not necessary in this situation, because they're going to bring national attention to it. Because
they did bring attention.
Yeah,
because it would have been swept under the rug without them.
Yeah, that's what their part is, right. And that's don't let Ben read no more damn autopsy report.
Public reading is not for everybody. There are people who can read who can't read. You're supposed to know that, though. You're supposed to know that is not just strong.
Ben, call me, man. I don't do the reading. I know the big words. Call me. I'm looking to come out of this criminal defense stuff. Just give me a call.
Right. If all you have to do is go up there and read Ben's part, man, that's a good $3,000 and travel.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I can litigate some of the actual cases. Like, I don't know what the cut is for the other boys that you're doing with. I know how to file the motions and do the depositions and yeah.
So yes, I was in the I spoke a lot about hip hop. I was in the rap group JBC Force that brought you the underground single Strong Island. And now after that, I used to write for The Source and Vibe and all of that. So, yeah, I'm a lifelong hip hop head. And just follow me on social media at AJ Woodson and hit me, and we can have a further conversation. But yeah, I definitely am a former current. I mean, you're always a hip hop artist if you're a hip hop artist. So I am a hip hop artist. Yes.
Yeah, man, and that's about the end of the show.
All right.
But he said that's AJ Woodson, bro. Damn.
Yo, but hey, listen, we're gonna stay on this.
I appreciate the super chat.
$5. Appreciate it. Thank you. Put that right in front, up on top, man. Listen,
send me my 33 to 3%.
We're gonna be on this, man. We're gonna be on this DSA. Please follow the channel. We got a couple shows up. Tomorrow I'm gonna have Elias Samadine, former president of the New York City correction officers union, and he's talking about the whole thing with closing Rikers, which is very. If you're in New York,
are they still on that plan? Did that do before?
Yes, they're still on the plan.
Okay.
They're still on that plan, and they're still wasting the taxpayers' money.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're still on their plan, and they're wasting a lot of money. Plus we discuss, like, dude, I'm discussing this democratic socialism thing, especially in New York, all the way up to election day, because people really need to understand that they have been bamboozled and hijacked, and something is going to have to happen. The mindset of the black voter is going to have to change, or we are going to get completely nothing from this new Democratic Party that is emerging. And I also I interviewed a young brother who's running in that Harlem district, and I'm starting to hear more and more people who worked on the Bernie campaign and was disappointed. They wanted something new. They was disappointed that there really wasn't an agenda for black and brown people.
Mm-mm. There never was, even all the way back to when I run an autopsy on Bernie's original platform. He never specifically spoke to black and brown people. He always spoke about the common, like he just spoke to the common conditions of Americans. We can't afford shit. There's no health care. And now I understand his theory, right? But if you really want to invigorate and motivate black people to vote for you, speak to us about issues that are specifically that we're dealing with, and talk about solutions that you have for those particularized problems. No candidates really do that, because
that message is for every candidate running for any office that you need black votes. Yeah.
Well, I think they really feel, but they don't have to do it. Only thing they got to do is mention Trump. And when they talk to
the Latino community, they talk about immigration and immigration reform.
Absolutely, they do. Damn sure do.
Yeah. I mean, because that's their goal, right? That is literally.
But nobody can talk about issues that are specific to us.
This lady,
be honest. Be honest. If 90%, if black people vote 90% Democrat, and they're going to vote if you have a D by your name, and they're going to vote like they do religiously, do you have to do anything for them? They're going to vote for you. Like, why do I have to do anything for you? I got your vote already.
I definitely think that that's the mentality that they have. That Negroes is going to vote for us anyway, so we ain't got to do much. Just skin and grin, and we're gonna win. Go take some pictures with them, shake some hands, kiss some babies.
If you're local, all you gotta do is do a basketball tournament or a big thing and give out hot dogs and hamburgers and feed the people at a big pop-up thing, and people love you. Oh, you're the greatest.
Well, I think in New York, whatever's going to go on in the 5 boroughs with the Democratic Socialism, I really think from Westchester moving up, none of that stuff is happening. None of that stuff is. None of that DSA is. All the black people I thought that up here that was Democrats in my county, I'm like, oh man, that's a Democrat. Okay, they all Republicans.
I will say this though, and just that everything that happens in the Bronx eventually echoes into like the Yonkers and the Mount Vernons because they're connected. So you will get a little bit of that trying to trickle in. It won't be a big thing, but I'm saying don't think it can't trickle in.
You know who runs Yonkers. I will see. I'm going to say New Rochelle will fall first.
Look, Damon, our politics needs to be transactional.
Huh?
Our politics needs to be transactional.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm not saying
Anybody else?
What can we get, and what are you going to give me? And if you want my vote, what can you give me? We're too emotional right now. Our politics is about, oh, he came and took a picture with me.
Yeah, exactly.
I was at the cookout and they know me. Man, them people wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire. And so what can they do for us? If we did get Medicare for all out of the DSA, that would be great. But will they be able to get it? Not with these stupid ass people that they keep platforming. Because on a national level,
I say that all the time. I'm sorry.
On a national level, that's the people down south say that dog ain't gonna hunt. This is they're basically inspiring the right to come out, because basically these DSAs are nothing but communism light. And so all these free programs that Mandami is doing, I like them in theory. Okay? In theory, but in practicality and reality, everything that's free
costs something. Freedom is not free.
It's paid for by someone. Please, I know what his retort would be. Well, we're going to get it from the billionaire class. We're going to make their fair share. Okay.
The billionaire class in New York is bouncing.
Yeah, they're going to head to places like Maryland, where they're going to head to places where it's liberal appearance, but Republican, taxation and so forth.
Exactly. And
or one of them states like Florida or Texas that don't have state taxes.
Yeah.
Well, they're going, man. All the major, they don't want to talk about it. Especially the New York News is not talking about it. I've been reporting it, and they're going. All the major finances going. Even the mayor of Dallas is bragging about the Texas Stock Exchange. They are about to bounce. And New York will not be the financial center as it used to be because of their policies. And they're even hurting future construction. There was a project in Lower Manhattan that's worth billions. Once they changed their rental rules on how they tax businesses on their square foot and all that, the company pulled out. So that's 40% of one building. So now, guess what's going to happen? The construction on that building is going to have to stop.
Look,
people are going to stop.
America is a capitalist country. If nobody's gotten that damn message, they really are on a whole nother page. This country is about making money. And there's an underbelly to that, right? There's an underbelly to that. And we're really, right now, we're in pure capitalist mode. They don't give a shit about, people who can't make it. They're like, okay, we got a prison for you,
Figure it out. Go get some skills. Go to school, get some skills, and get with the program. But if you don't go get skills, because
we got a place for you.
Exactly. It's about skills now. See, and this is where Black people get it twisted, because y'all are not pressuring your school boards where y'all vote for these fools to be in charge of your children, and they're not preparing them for the future workforce. We have been continuing to be putting our children behind.
Yeah.
Every decade, every generation, we put them behind. And then you got Negroes that want to make excuses about the white man. No, get the goddamn skills.
Man, listen. If you can't make it in this AI generation, I mean, the damn thing tells you the answers. Whatever you. Like, if you can't make it in this era, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Even in school, this student, because they was trying to catch people that were using AI, he put in there, write this so it doesn't look like it came from AI and it looks like it came from me and it won't be plagiarism. And it wrote him a thing and he got a high. That's what he put. That was the prompt that he put in.
Listen, not only that, if you got $500, you could go to AI and say, look, I got $500.
It'll give you a
what
plan.
do I need to do to make $1 million with the $500? And it will give you the steps on what to do with the $500.
Man.
And gone are the days where when you have a business now and you don't know social media, it will write you your social media campaign. Tell you what days and times to post, what kind of things you need to post. It will give you your proposals for business. It can even help you write grants. And if you put the right things in, it will tell you the grants that. Well, Damon, I put in. They were talking about grants for Black writers, Jonathan, and I was searching for it, and it told me, it gave me a list, and it said, "Oh, Damon said this. Said your book, Black Women of Westchester, would have definitely qualified for this grant." It even told me my book that I wrote would have qualified. Like, so, dude, come up with another book like that, and it would qualify for this grant.
Type in on your computer screen right quick, Damon. Casefirst.com. Case first.
Oh, wait, just said more.
Law practice management for the rest of us.
That's mine. That whole thing has been designed out. It's a whole back end system. Like, we don't subscribe to Clio or pay. The normal model used to be like $59.99 per month per person in your firm. I got my own platform that I built, me and AI.
No, listen.
I'm done. I'm like, if this generation can't get it, you know.
AI will teach you AI will help you do your website. All the things, it will give you your accounting. You need your whatever you put in there, and you ask it the right questions. And sometimes you have to double check the information. Don't just take everything it gives you. You got to double check some things. Mm-hmm. But it will definitely give you it'll give you a skeleton of where to go if you don't know where to go. If you're a hustler, if you're an entrepreneur, and you're weak into something, it will give you the things that you need to. I was working on a book and I was putting certain things in. It told me to start interviewing this person, because they would make strong points and why they would make my book stronger and for what reasons. I was like, oh, damn.
I'm writing a book right now with AI helping me, the Maryland Prisoner Survival Guide. What to do when you get to prison, how to navigate, stuff not to do, how to get money. Look, I'm telling you, you're going to see my book out there because these young boys, they go into prison, man, and they borrow money, getting beat up about borrowing money. They're holding on to other people's stuff for them. I'm like, man, why would you do that? I didn't know. Well, this is stuff you shouldn't do when you get to prison. You know?
Because most of the time you find out is after you've done it. Nope, that's not the right thing to do.
That's not the right thing to do.
No, it's too late because your ass is locked up and you sharing a cell with Bubba.
Right.
And he puts a candy underneath your pillow, you got problems.
Yo, so we're coming to the close of the show, but I did want to announce, though, this is our 12-year anniversary. We're working right now on the August, the 12-year anniversary issue. You got another week to 10 days to get your advertisement in. If you want the advertisement of your journal ads, blackwestchester@gmail.com. Hit us. You know what I'm saying? All y'all people that say you'll support us and support what we do. I mean, the work's not free. Freedom is not free. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to see us continue to do the work, we need your support. We've been here 12 years and we got here because of all of y'all who are supporting us. And we want to thank all of y'all. But yeah, we're celebrating our 12-year anniversary. And 12 years of this show, 12 years of the website and everything. When me and Damon started this, I really did not think that I would be having this conversation 12 years later. When I knew we were doing something different. I didn't realize it would affect people the way it did, and it would be important as it was. But we've definitely done a lot of work. I think we left some things better. We're still talking about some of the same things we were talking about 12 years ago, and that our mentors were talking about 20, 30 years ago. But unfortunately, but we keep putting in the work. And you know what I'm saying? People like Jonathan, we have a lot of strong allies and stuff who come on and support us. I just want to thank all of the people that rode with us for these 12 years. And yeah, man, holla at us. We're working on the issue now. And yeah, 12 years in the can, man. A lot of people can't say that. We broke all the rules. We went from digital to print, which everybody was like, oh, you can't go print. The people going from print to digital, but the people wanted a paper. And if y'all want to keep getting the paper, y'all got to support it. So,
Exactly.
I said, one of them days, and it won't be long, you're going to look around and we're going to be gone. They'll be like, yo, what happened? We need some black media. What happened? What happened to Black West?
Black West is going to be gone. You won't catch up with me. I'm just going to be talking about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I ain't going to want to hear about all that other stuff y'all talking about. And that's all it's going to be. That's all that's going to be happening. So y'all better get it right and support black media that support that support the people. You know, I just did a video, and I'm going to close out. There was a video. I had assumed that the coffee shop was in Westchester County because everybody was sharing it. So then they was talking about we're going to boycott the coffee shop. But the owner said he don't need black dollars. I said, well, that's stupid. Why don't you support? That's why I called you, AJ, because I said in the video that if we put as much energy in boycotting a shop that don't want our money into supporting black coffee,
that's right. That's right.
Money.
All that energy, you got to be boycotting. Don't boycott. Use that energy to go find a black business and support it.
Exactly. Like, what is wrong with that's
what happens is after we boycott, what do they do? What do? They give you some bullshit ass apology, you know, and the owner comes out
and that's what they did. And that's what they ended up doing. But man, AJ, we had the sister in Yonkers with the beautiful black coffee shop.
I just heard from her. Yeah, she's doing something totally different. She got ran out of business.
We couldn't get Negroes to come and buy coffee.
It was a black coffee company. They made their own beans. It was a beautiful business, and it was like an internet. It was like an internet type thing where you could go in there and sit there. And it was a beautiful thing.
Listen. I've had 2 public facing. Now my next business is in a warehouse where I ain't gonna see no Negroes. It's gonna be all on the internet. Okay. We had a restaurant for 2 years in my community in Suitland, Maryland. Okay. Seat Pleasant, Maryland. Negroes have a problem seeing black people in business. They don't want to spend their money with us. If you want that coffee shop to work, you need to find an Asian and put them behind the counter. Okay. I recognize, man, people will come in there and say all kind of shit to my wife, to my son.
You know that's right, because there's a store, there's one in Peekskill.
Yeah,
it's a black owned restaurant. I got brought to. I didn't see a black person running. I didn't see a black person behind the counter.
They coming in with a white glove, talking about what spot they see and this and that and the other, and your price is too high. And man, listen.
I'm sorry, Tarrytown said Peekskill.
You Jedi mind trick them. I wanted to put a picture of a white man on the wall, and come out there with some overalls and just sweep the floor in my restaurant and just say, look, I got to check with Mr. Charlie to see whatever else, because black folks don't want us. Man, I'm telling you, we have had a psychological job done on us. You'll support a black business, Damon. You'll support a black business, AJ. But there are a lot of people who have some issues, mental issues with supporting black people. And, what they think? I'm not paying you $6 for a damn cup of coffee. Nigga, you crazy. But we'll go right down to Starbucks and pay 10.
Wait. And that's what happened with this lady. The Starbucks ended up opening up, and everybody ran to Starbucks. That was supporting us and wasn't supporting her.
And the best thing she could have did was went down to stay her ass in the background, okay? Because I'm telling you how I'm doing my next business. Nobody's gonna know I'm owning nothing. Gonna be on the internet. Listen, man, I'm telling you. Listen, even like with the practice of law, man. Black people don't treat black lawyers like they treat white lawyers and Jewish lawyers. Black people.
The standards that we don't hold nobody else to.
Yeah, man. There was a black lawyer on the Sean P. Diddy Combs case. He was telling people he didn't get paid. None of the white lawyers got paid, man. Black people have a problem accepting black intelligence, accepting black products. And so I'm in a capitalist society. I ain't telling nobody else I got a black-owned business. I'm not. I had a black-owned business in that restaurant. We had a black-owned print shop down in Palm Beach County. Man, I'm telling you, black folks would ride by I had a black-owned business print shop down there. But watch this, Damon. I own the Palm Beach Progress, which was a black-owned newspaper. So the struggle that y'all going through to try to get black people to advertise, man, I improve, man, please. And you can't get black people to advertise, and it's very difficult to get white people to advertise.
No, actually, it was funny. There are white people that see our value more than black people.
I was going to say, it would be easier to get white people and other people because watch this. They recognize that if I want to get some exposure in the black community, that's really a cheap, very cheap way to do so. When I opened up the paper in Clayton County, it was the same thing. And so I just recognized, man, they got a problem. I'm going to navigate my way around the problem. Will I support a black business? Absolutely. Will I try to be known as a black business? Absolutely not. Absolutely not anymore. As much as I respect the idea and the notion, it's not that white people ain't there yet. Black people ain't there yet as a whole, young and old. The restaurant was it for me, man. I was like, man, we were selling tacos. Okay? Watch this. We bought this restaurant. It was already selling tacos. And the lady who was working there, who was working in the back, she knew how to make these tacos. The word was busting. Everything was good. We had the tacos, the quesadillas, the damn churros. We had all this stuff, okay? The moment our black ass got behind that cash register and they saw that we owned it, man, them tacos too high, man. I get the same thing making them at my house.
Right. So it's not that, and we're gonna end with this. So it's not that no black people support black businesses, because there are people that do seek out black businesses. But as a whole, we don't support our own, and we give our dollar to all these other groups of people and help them create generational wealth.
So you gotta trick them. Don't tell them it's black owned.
Exactly.
I'm telling you want to see them coffee sales blow up, man. Get you an Asian and put them behind the counter.
With that, any last words, Damon? We about to do this another episode. Okay, go ahead.
Check me out tomorrow at 8 p.m. The Publisher's Desk. We're talking about closing Rikers Islands and the effects and the DSA and what's going on in New York City. 8 o'clock tomorrow, Monday, we'll be rocking and rolling, man.
Sounds good.
And
that's helping you all, man. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on, man.
All the time. You know you got the open door policy whenever you want.
Man, I appreciate that, fellas. I really do. Good to see y'all still at it at 12 years.
Yeah, man.
This is another episode of Black Westchester.
I know David wants to really go off now. I know he does.
I know.
I was gonna get me a mask, and y'all can bring me on like an Uncle Ruckus so I can say what I really think.
Yo, this has been another episode of Black Westchester Presents, the People Before Politics radio show. We simulcast live every Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, X, and anywhere else they'll let us stream on. It's been 12 years of giving you real talk with the community. Ain't always what you want to hear, but sometimes it's what you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? But
exactly. All right. All right,
Until next week. Until next week. Peace.
All right.
Yeah, we out of here, y'all. Peace out, and stay blacktastic, man. Stay blacktastic.
No doubt.
They taught us charity, never clarity. Now help the world while we suffer in the dark. Fighting for flags that don't feed our seeds, but can't build one school where our babies can read. We loud for the globe, but silent for home. No plumber, no coder, but a new iPhone. Our pain got turned to a marketing stream, march and scream, but no policy team, red or blue. Man, they both play roles. One lock us up, one leave us broke with hopes. Democrat, Republican, ain't changed the hood. Just new faces, same games, misunderstood. We vote, they win, then forget we alive. They fund everybody, we just try and survive. Our issues trend only after we die. Ain't no savior coming, it's us or goodbye. So I buy black, build back, sow in the earth. Each brick I lay, I honor the hurt. My grandma prayed for the day we be free, not just legally, but financially. Put the mask on first, then we lift the rest. If the block ain't strong, how we claim success? We ain't saviors, we survivors, building worth, time to love ourselves. Black America first, yeah, Black America first. Fix the house, fix the fam, let the blessings burst. Own the land, own the plan, put the people to work, no more mule moves, Black America first. Thank you for watching another Blacktastic episode of the People Before Politics show. Sunday Rundown, powered by Black Westchester Magazine. We appreciate every single one of you who tuned in, commented, shared the stream, and joined the conversation. Your support is the reason independent Black media continues to thrive and speak truth without fear. Every week, we show up to bring clarity, accountability, and real community insight to the stories that matter. And you show up with us. Whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or X, we want you to know that your voice, your engagement, and your presence make this platform stronger. Thank you for rocking with Damon K. Jones, AJ Woodson, and Larnez Kinsey as we break down the issues that many outlets ignore. And thank you for supporting a space where Black thought, Black leadership, and Black truth-telling still matter.